Bro, this is so good to be back.
I know,
Right? It's literally, I'm going to have to look up the last time we did a review together. It's been probably like a year.
Dude, I feel so good.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, so it's almost a year.
Spider-Man
It's
came
July.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Spider-Man or Spoderman? Spider-Man.
Spoderman was the great
Twitter
Twitter.
account.
Right. Okay.
Remember, I think someone retweeted on my account about 18 times. I lost about 6 followers in a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are someone.
I have a Wonder Woman poster right there. I haven't hung it up yet.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Where'd you get a Wonder Woman poster?
So
He was just wondering.
You're really trying to appeal to that female audience.
no. So my
Oh, it had to have Chris Pine in the background.
Hold on.
Wait, can you show this?
Yeah.
Can look at this. Like, come on. Like, the poster is supposed to be about Diana, right? What is this?
Well, hold on. I got this at my girlfriend. Her best friend works at a movie theater.
Okay.
And so, or used to work in a movie
Right.
theater, and so they have a room that has all these posters.
Right,
and
but
most of them.
clearly there to sell for the movie. That remember,
Yeah.
Chris Pine's in the movie.
Well, you're right, but
like,
I mean, Gal Gadot sells on her own, so they didn't have to.
Well, they had to appeal to some of the females that wanted to see a good-looking male on the poster.
That's true.
That's what you go to a movie you've been waiting your whole life
It was
for.
a good
about
movie. It was a good
female heroine.
To be determined. I
You
have
just
not seen.
wait for the good-looking
movie.
guy.
It was a good movie.
Yep.
All right. Well, Captain Marvel. That's what Captain Marvel's going to be about. Let's start.
Hey guys, welcome back to Clueless Gamers. I'm Pete.
I'm Cal.
I'm Dylan.
Oh my god, and we are back, guys. It's been literally
Boy.
10 months since we've all done a movie review since Spider-Man Homecoming, as you've pointed out.
This is all
We are back for a very, very important movie here. It's Avengers Infinity War. Technically, you could say it's part one, but since the second one's going to have a different title, we'll just say it's Infinity War here. Got the shirt going on. We're going to get into this movie. There's a lot to talk about. We have things to do in the morning, and we're probably a little bit loopy right now, so we're just going to jump into it. General impressions here has no spoilers, and then we'll warn you about spoilers going forward. But it's been a week, guys, so if you haven't seen this movie, please get out and avoid all social media before you get there. General impressions for this movie, I mean, for me, this is a masterpiece. Yes, there's little nitpicks and things like that you can say about any movie, but this is probably one of my favorite Marvel movies. It's definitely got to be top two with Winter Soldier and this. It's just a fantastic movie. I think they did a great job with the villain that we've been building up 10 years towards. That was a lot of hype that they had to live up to, and I think they did a really, really great job. I'm looking forward to also the deleted scenes that they took out apparently as well with Thanos, but giving every character here some time to shine. Yes, there's ones that have more than others, time to shine on screen, but overall I think the Russo brothers directing this in their third MCU iteration for movies here, they did a great job, a fantastic job. Cal, what are you thinking? General impression. No spoilers.
I mean, I'm still having trouble.
Well, this is his first. So tonight was the first time he saw this. This is my third time. This is Dylan's second time. So.
But it was awesome, and not even just saying oh, it's Avengers, it's awesome. The movie was 2.5 hours long.
Yeah.
And I held a pee in for about 2 hours.
2 hours
because I didn't want to miss anything because I knew.
I'm proud of you.
The minute I walked out of that movie theater, something big was happening, and I mean, I was also we're sitting in recliners. I'm still sitting on the edge of my seat. I'm every single motion, I'm like, oh, this guy could be dead. That guy could be dead. Oh my god, where did this come from? Just all over the place, and I loved it.
It's a lot of a process.
There are five different storylines going on at the same time that all coincide with each other, and it's crazy.
Yeah, it was beautifully mixed.
Yeah.
It was almost an impossible task for the Russo brothers, and they did it.
Yeah, no, it was great. I'll keep mine short because I'm sure people probably want to hear about the in-depth stuff.
A lot to talk about.
But generally, amazing. Probably, I think it might have been my favorite MCU movie, actually.
Yes. Definitely.
Just incredible piece. And I was watching it for the second time, and there were still scenes where my heart was racing and my stomach dropped, and I knew what was going to happen, and I still had those emotional reactions the second time I was watching. I think that speaks for itself. Definitely check out the movie if you can.
Yeah, definitely if you see it multiple times, so this is my third time here, you can watch other people like Caliber's here reactions a little bit more. but still, there's parts that still get me. I still get the emotions, and we'll talk about those scenes. But yeah, let's just dive into this.
Well, I do want to say halfway through the movie, Caliber said to me, "Is Zendaya in this?" Because she was in the Spider-Man movie, and that was the reason he saw it. So he was a little upset about it. I'm sure that'll be his decision.
Bring in the joke back.
I hope I didn't spoil your decision.
Spoiler alert, I didn't say that.
Okay. Maybe she faded away. We don't know.
Yeah, right.
Okay, that would piss me off.
Anyway, all right. Now we are going to full spoilers territory if you've not seen the movie, and obviously do not want to be spoiled for this movie. Put us in your watch for later. Click off of this video and then come back after you see it. But please go out and see this. It's been a week. It's like almost impossible to avoid spoilers, so please do that. So jumping into likes for this, which is full spoilers. I mean, where do you even start?
Yeah,
I mean, I feel
so
like
much.
we shouldn't go one at a time. Let's just collectively talk about our thoughts here.
Thor was
amazing,
incredible.
I actually went from like, Thor's pretty cool to, if anything happens to Thor ever again, I'm going to be so upset.
This was his moment.
They finally made him into the character that he's in the
god,
a powerhouse.
A god, yeah.
Exactly.
Well, he's a man.
Yeah.
And
he's definitely
Star-Lord's just a practical.
Great scene when him meeting the Guardians. That was fantastic. But yeah, Thor, amazing.
Yeah.
You guys, I think you both haven't seen Ragnarok, right?
I have not.
Okay, so a little bit of spoilers for you here. His powers get fully unleashed in that movie, so that's why you see the electrical eyes and everything.
Yeah.
He's finally coming to grips with who he is and unlocking that power.
Yeah.
And that was so great to see a continuation of that, because this movie literally picks up with the end of Ragnarok.
Yeah.
With Thanos' ship coming up, and then you see what happened. To me, one of the most horrifying sequences in any of these Marvel movies was that opening. I mean, there was no hope. It was horrible. Everyone's dead. That's the last of Asgard on that ship. That's basically like Noah's Ark.
Yeah,
they're all dead. So unless there's Asgardians, throughout the universe, they're all dead. Oh, that people, they're wiped off the face of the
and
earth.
Thanos,
face of the universe.
I'm gonna go back and forth between Thanos.
Oh yeah,
I know it's Thanos. I apologize.
It's fine.
It's just the
you read things differently too.
Yeah. I right off the bat, he fights the Hulk and he goes a mano with the Hulk, not even using the gauntlet.
Great music too.
And the music throughout the movie was incredible. And you immediately realize, oh crap, this guy is stronger than the Hulk.
Yeah.
He beat the Hulk so bad that Bruce Banner couldn't get the Hulk to come out the rest of the movie, which I think was a play on erectile dysfunction. But
a little bit,
I think it was
a little bit. I
feel
can
like
agree
it
with that.
subliminally was not even to like joke around or be a dick.
I can see that.
Be a dick, no pun intended.
that works there as well. See, that's why you come to this channel, jokes like that. But yes, definitely, I like that. And I like that in that opening scene, he doesn't have to use even the Power Stone to mess up the Hulk, because it's to show that like this guy's got fighting skills. He's extremely strong. Obviously, he is big, and like the Hulk is no match. Like. No consequences for him. I like even that the Black Dwarf is the big guy for the Black Order.
Yeah.
And like he steps in and Maul's just like, let him have his fun. Like, when he said that, when I first saw this, I was like, no, he's gonna get fucked up. I was just like, so those moments were great. And that, I mean, just sad scenes in that opening shot. We lose Heimdall after he does one last time. He uses the Bifrost to get rid of Hulk, bring him to Earth.
Yeah.
We lose, for real this time, I think, Loki.
Yeah, he's dead.
So, and for him to have that kind of final moment, for him to say Odin's son, he's always hated his father, hated taking on his last name, and in that final moment where he, I think, knew he was going to die, he probably thought they were all going to die, he said that. And I think that was what a progression, what an arc. If he never comes back, Tom Hiddleston doing a great job with that character, and what a fantastic way to end that arc. And seeing Thor... again, you guys haven't seen Ragnarok, but he goes through, it's a comedy, yes, but he goes through a pretty horrible journey. A lot of bad stuff happens to him. And to have that continue and for it to build up, and I'll get to my favorite scene later, it was fantastic. And Maul just to shush him and close his mouth and everything, and all his people die. I mean, they just go around the ship and they're just standing. The rest of them, like, it was like nothing. And Thanos to have his opening monologue, I mean, it was amazing. It was amazing.
The children of Thanos were great.
Yes.
Maw, as you said, it's a shame we didn't learn more about them, but you know what? I thought about it and I'm like, there's so much more they could have done, but how long is this movie
serve
gonna
a
end up
plot
being?
device.
Is it going to end up being a 4-hour movie? If they, I think I wouldn't have minded it either, but I think the more casual fan probably would have. That would have been a turn off for them. So I understand that as well. So I thought they could have gotten more of a backstory, but even though they didn't, those 4 of the children of Thanos. What is the Dark Order? You said?
In the comics, it's called the Black Order.
Okay. Were they refer to that as
not at all?
Okay.
No.
So I guess children of Thanos.
Yeah, that's what they went with. Yeah.
But either way, those four were great, and I thought that I don't know. I feel like in Marvel movies, sometimes the villains haven't been as great.
No, definitely.
Yeah, that's been their one weakness.
Definitely.
Marvel,
Everyone would agree with that.
This movie completely just warped that.
Yeah,
you have
and
these
finally.
finally, you have these four characters who were badass, and they're taking on the Avengers really, toe to toe.
Yeah.
And this isn't even Thanos. This isn't even their boss that's going with the Avengers. So then when the boss comes, they have no chance. They have no prayer.
Yeah.
So the fact that those four were on par with pretty much all the Avengers and all the superheroes just set the stage for how powerful Thanos is going to be and was in this movie.
I wouldn't even in some ways say on par. They're better than them.
Yeah.
I mean, you see
and a lot of 2-on-1 fights and 3-on-1 fights.
We're going to bounce around for the movie here, but
Maw
we're talking about the Black Order.
Doctor Strange.
We see what Maw does to Doctor Strange, and what he did to Iron Man, to Spider-Man. We see those kind of things. You see the kind of power that, even though they don't let him talk in this movie, they don't even give him his name, the Black Dwarf, the bigger guy, he's maybe the lesser of all of them. He got probably messed up the most, and that's the same way with the comic as well.
Well,
but he's the muscle.
I thought he talked, but his words were just incoherent.
It was more like alien language. He actually
that's
spoke.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that was an interesting take I thought they did. But then you have in the comics, a husband and wife in Corvus Glaive, and then you have Proximity of Midnight. Those were your other two with the spears. I wish they gave them more lines and more. They didn't even mention them by name.
No.
But still, seeing that they have power. I mean, you see Corvus is throwing around Cap and Vision like they're nothing. I mean, from the opening moment when he stabs Vision, Vision's weakened for the whole rest of the movie.
Yeah.
So you see the power that they are there, and I like that kind of stuff.
I think the only reason that they didn't have as much backstory on the children of Thanos, as they called them, was because then it kind of downplays Gamora being his daughter.
Oh, well, you know
what I mean? Because, even though it's not his daughter, he took her in and raised her.
Yeah,
I see what you're saying.
He calls it saving her. So it's that's the person that he raised. If the other four are
the strong
these are his children also. It's so she's one of 5, not even his actual daughter. So why is she so important? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they all ended up being one-shot movie villains.
They ended up being plot devices, kind of.
So that's the other thing. Had they lasted into the second movie, we probably would have seen a little more backstory. But the writers knew, look, we're going to introduce them and kill them off in this movie. There's no point to get the audience really connected and invested with them. A little, more to be desired with their characters, but it's not a real major complaint.
I think they did a great job with, if any of them, they did a great job with Maw. For that limited screen time, to know what he's about, because you also hear him in the flashback too, of he's just the perfect asshole that I want.
Well, even when he comes to Earth and he says, you're all going to be free of your insignificant lives or whatever, and Captain America and Doctor Strange walk over to him, he sounds like the preachers in GTA 4. You know the ones I'm talking about? Yeah. Where they're talking about how God's wrath is going to descend on
that whole opening scene where you have Strange, Bruce, Tony, and then Wong, who was also there, and just telling him that, and just being like, behold, your salvation is a... And you notice, my favorite thing is, he says that everywhere he goes. He said that on the Asgardian ship. Okay? He says it when he gets to Earth. When they do the flashback with Gamora, you also hear him doing the same thing. So, for 20-something years or more, he's had this same spiel.
And he loves it.
He goes planet to planet, because that's what Maw does. Maw... whatever power he has, he's the voice, he's the talker. Okay, so he sets that up, and I thought that was great for that character there. But you saw that he has his own determination, and he's his own twisted thing of when he tried to grab the time stone from Strange at first in New York, and it burned him, and he's like, it's a simple spell or whatever, and he's like, then I'll take it off your corpse. That was
a greatly delivered line.
Yeah, so I love that kind of stuff. Or when he's torturing him on the ship, and I love just the little things of how he makes everyone insignificant, where he's just if I got the Titan, how do you think Thanos would feel if this, the time stone was still attached to your vaguely annoying person? It's just he always demeans whoever he's talking to. So I love that kind of stuff. He's definitely the most developed character. Even just on the Asgardian ship when he's kneeling and he's doing the spiel to Thanos to hand him, the Tesseract, which was the space stone. I love that.
Absolutely, because the big guy didn't talk, and then the girl and the guy with the spears. The girl talked a little bit.
Yeah.
She made some nice, quotes here and there, one-liners, but the guy really didn't say much.
Yeah, he didn't say much at all.
Yeah.
He really has that opening fight with Vision and Scarlet Witch, and then he said at the end with Vision, "I thought you would be more formidable machine," and
but you're dying just like a human.
Yeah, and that's really it. Like he doesn't say a lot, so.
But their strength, you can't deny.
No, so that was good. And just, I mean, if you asked me 10 years ago when they made Iron Man that, hey, you think you'll ever see the Black Water, in a movie? The Black Water wasn't even created by that point.
Right.
That's a pretty crazy thing that you put them in a Marvel movie and that they can become household names now. At least recognizable faces. I mean, what else do we talk about here? I mean, not only Thor.
Could be 5 hours.
Oh yeah, not only Thor, Scarlet Witch. What a badass they made her. They showcased her power for this
Absolutely.
film. I love that.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about that? Anything?
Yeah, you go though.
There you can go.
All right.
I'm a gentleman.
Of course, and I'll take the spotlight.
Just like in high school. Go on.
No, but like I feel like they always talked about her having all this power. And they never showcased it.
Yeah.
Like you would get, a little bit here, a little bit there. It's like, why don't you use that shit all the time?
Yeah.
And then she comes out and she realizes, all right, everyone's about to die if I don't do something. And she comes out and she takes those fucking things that are spinning. And just destroys like 90% of the wave of space dogs, as they were calling them.
Yeah.
Like running out.
Outriders in the comics. But
yeah. And I was just like.
Yeah,
nice.
And that's a great line too by Okoye when she's there and she's just like, "Why was she up there the whole time?" That was a perfect line there. But even seeing her in many ways, because Vision was hurt initially, fight two of them, a 2-on-1, hands off, boom, and she hits them. I like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, what emotional.
Oh, that ending scene.
Not only the ending scene, but this is also a character who I remember this. I forget what movie it's from, but
Ultron.
Where she lost her brother.
Yeah.
And her brother died, and I remember that was one of the most.
That's a great scene.
Yeah, one of the most, maybe my favorite, emotionally powerful scene in Marvel. Although this one, there's a scene in this movie that came pretty close to the Spider-Man one, obviously.
Yeah.
But this is a character that lost her brother in that horrific way.
Yeah.
And now loses her love.
Yeah.
It's tough.
I love that scene too. Not to delve in Age of Ultron, I love that scene just because it plays up on the twins thing. Because she's not even near him. But she could feel something's wrong. And they always say that. I mean, you're a twin, so do you ever feel your sister's in trouble?
No.
Ah, that's good. He's a good
He
brother.
feels, he just doesn't care.
Yeah, but showcasing her and seeing her more in the outfit. Maybe you need the Soul Stone, buddy.
Yeah.
Seeing all that stuff, I love that. Everyone had great. I mean, Black Widow had great moments in this movie. Yeah. As I said, Okoye as well.
I feel like Black Scarlett Johansson.
Yes.
I feel like she didn't really say much in this movie.
No, Cap doesn't either. If you really think about it.
There were a lot of people who just didn't say a lot.
He doesn't even call himself Captain America.
Well, yeah, because he just doesn't view himself.
Yeah.
I mean, you notice the star is black.
Yeah.
It's not white anymore.
But I'm just saying, he's like,
He's more similar to the character Nomad that he became after he gave up the Cap mantle, but that's a whole nother story. But yeah, probably one of my favorite scenes in this entire movie is Vision and Scarlet Witch doing that fight, and then the train goes by, and you know it's going to be Cap. You just know it. You see the outline of it, and so it builds up the tension. But when Midnight throws the spear and he catches that, and then you play the classic Avengers theme, and he steps out.
Yeah.
You see the beard.
My theater cheered.
Ours did. Mine did too. When
Tonight
I saw
it didn't.
No, because there's probably a lot of people seeing it for the second, third time like we were. And then everyone coming together, Falcon and Black Widow. I like how they all stayed together for these 2 years after Civil War.
Yeah.
They're like a family.
Yeah.
That I didn't expect. So that I thought was really good. And I love that whole fight sequence and them meeting each other. And you said in the movie when they're talking later and he's like saying, "Oh, we don't trade lives, Captain," and things like that, and how that comes back later.
It comes back and he saves him and he's like, "We don't trade lives." And they always do that. They have that one line where it's like, you say something to me and later on it's like you say it right back. It's like, "Hey man, you're eating your own words right now." Like, they always do that.
Yeah, when Thor said it to Thanos in the very beginning, and he says it at the very end.
Right back,
because
he'll die for
the
that.
Stormbreaker.
It all comes back
it's
around.
An awesome name, by the way, for an axe.
Yeah,
Stormbreaker.
it is. I'll get more to that, but it definitely is.
Sounds like a Fortnite axe. Yeah, tier 1.
I like how they were just like, it's a little much. Like, just like, so that was good too.
Yeah, the humor was good.
And it wasn't too much.
No,
That's what I was afraid of. I didn't want Thanos to be out there cracking jokes, and he wasn't.
No, he wasn't. Okay. No,
he wasn't at all. This wasn't Ultron or something else. Like this
he was the only one that wasn't really cracking jokes.
No, and the jokes fit perfectly for the characters. Like the Guardians are a jokey group, so like it fits that they're doing the jokes.
Yeah.
And you could bring Thor into that world too, and you have some jokes from Tony and things like that.
Yeah.
Because that's his character.
Yep.
But then other than that, it's nice when the characters that shouldn't be joking are not joking.
Well, Gamora was part of that group. She really didn't joke at all.
No, not at all.
Serious because I think she knew the direty.
She knew as soon as that's what I love too, because I noticed this more the second time.
Yeah.
As soon as the ship goes in and they see all the Asgardians and they're like, oh my god. Right there, if you look at her, she knows who did this.
And she knows she's dead.
Yeah, she's aware that their path is going to cross at some point because she has that information.
Because they show her face and she's just like...
So I didn't pick that up the first time. The second time I did.
The first time I picked up, which very simple foreshadowing, is when Thor, and I was hoping that I didn't really touch on this because then I could be like, theory time, oh, she definitely knows where the Soul Stone is. But it was pretty obvious when Thor was like, and no one knows where the Soul Stone is. And like you see...
It cuts to her.
Yeah, Gamora, and she clearly knows. In fact, if you look at Chris Pratt, I always forget Star-Lord. I always forget their names. I just call them by their
Everyone forgets Star-Lord's name anyway in the movies.
I know.
Mr. Lord.
Star-Lord is staring at Gamora like with his eyes like spinning as if he knows what. But that's like very minor and subtle, and that's something that I didn't.
And that goes to their conversation a little bit later when she's like, "Hey, I know something. You'll have to kill me," and he's like, "Shouldn't I know it too?" Why does someone always have to die in this situation? And you see that he's doing that joking nature because that's who he is. But when it came down to being serious, he was serious, and she even shuts him up there too. Of like, promise me, swear on your mother. And then I was like, oh wow, okay, this is. We know how Peter feels about his mother. Like this is a pretty serious thing.
Yeah. I even like when she was caught by Thanos and he was just like, you should have went right. I told you to go right, and he kept saying that, like just
because
it was because
his jokes. They at some point they run out. He couldn't admit that he's gonna have to do this. That whole sequence is great too because the whole time when that goes in there, I'm like, he's using the reality stone. Like I just knew it.
Yeah.
And then I just wanted to know if you cared, daughter. So he set that whole thing up just to know if she still somewhat loved him.
Yeah.
Because he always wanted to know after all these years. Yeah. And to have that whole sequence go on, and then he's just like, you expect too much of him. And then do it, and and then it's bubbles. So my theater laughed the first time, but it's a serious thing of like, he just makes the gun go away.
Yeah.
The terrifying thing of what he did to Drax and Mantis. When he broke him into stones and he slung Mantis out like a slingy.
Like a slingy,
yeah. So that was some messed up stuff. But yeah, that's a very sad sequence of them saying they love each other, and and that's actually the last time he sees her because she ends up dying.
I think
permanent death. You think?
Guardians 3. I think her death could stick more just because
I think it's permanent.
She's trapped in the soul world, which she was in the comics. So I think it's possible that her soul just stays there. Yeah. So I don't know. I could see it either way. But what were you saying?
Now I'm forgetting because you started talking about the soul world and my mind went to a different direction.
It's okay.
What were we saying before that?
Well, I was just talking about like how the emotional scene there of just like how they says that they love each other, and
I think he set the whole thing up to see if not only if she still like felt for him, but to see if he still loved her.
That's true too. That's a good
point. Because he if you really think about it, it's like he knew. Or you would assume he knew he had to make a sacrifice. Yeah. And he knew going in, like, he needed her to find it because she knew where it was, and he knew that someone close to him needed to be with him. Yeah. And I think he had a little self-realization that when he was up there, when he was actually crying tears, like, damn, I really do have to kill her. Yeah. Like, that's actually a really good point. There's no way around it. Like, I have to do it. And that's why she's like, oh yeah, you have tears now.
Oh, great scene.
And then that's not like Red Face.
That's Red Skull.
Red Skull.
Yeah, wow. What a
cameo. He's like, those aren't for him. Yeah. And then that's when she's like, oh, motherfucker, like she's dead.
That's a great scene. There. It's one of my favorites there for the movie, just because it's her laughing, thinking like, ha. the universe judges you. You don't love anything.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't even get what you want. But the sad reality is, in this sick way, after everything he's done to her, even, he does love her.
Yeah.
He really, and she's like, this isn't love, but for him it is.
Yeah.
And, you know, to do that and like, to, you know, he says, oh, I ignored my destiny once. And the motion capture, everything they animated on his face, his lip quivering, his tears and everything was great.
Yeah,
it was fantastic. And just the only stone that's also not shown in a previous Marvel movie, I think they did a pretty good job tying it in, especially to have a Red Skull cameo. Man, I never called that. There's been a whole bunch of theories and things like that of like, oh, he's not really dead because it was the Space Stone in Captain America 1 that transported him somewhere. Well, we know where he got transported, and he got almost like you said this to me after, like, because in the comics it's Lady Death that he does all this for. I thought that was her because he has that death kind of persona before he comes out. But what a way to tie up Captain America, the first Avenger from 2011, and have him do that there, and him be the guide because we don't have a whole movie to spend with the Soul Stone, so he could kind of speed us up here what this is and what you have to do. That's definitely one of my favorite scenes in the movie. A lot of people, I think that was the first time when they saw that, cried. I think that was the first scene that really got them when she dies.
I went to see it the first time with my girlfriend, and she said the second she saw, funny enough, Thanos crying, that's when she actually
knew.
She lost it. Which is funny because I wouldn't have thought like, well, him crying wasn't what made me say. It was the fact that I'm sure it was a culmination.
She's crying for Gamora because she knows if he's crying, he's gonna do it.
Yeah,
and you said that even when you're going on, you were just like, oh, bye, Felicia, like you're saying in that moment. But like you knew that
she was gone.
It was over. So that was a very sad scene there.
Sophisticated.
I said to him like, oh damn, she's dead, and then like she said like she started saying like they're judging you, and I looked at her and was like, bye, Felicia. Like so that's when you know.
A lot of crazy things happen in this movie. I mean, even with the reality stone when he gets it, we have to assume that he killed the Collector. I mean, that's a being that's been alive since like the beginning of the universe. So that's a huge death even there. It's kind of thrown to the side.
He's like waving to her.
So
it feels like a Star Wars movie a little bit, doesn't it? With all the galaxies and all the like planets. And stuff.
And literally like reality changing, time changing stones.
I love the way Doctor Strange was tied in though.
Man, Doctor Strange killed it in this movie.
And he like his attitude, like his persona, kind of reminds me a little of Tony Stark. Like, they're very similar, and they butt heads a lot, which I thought was like
it made sense
because they're very similar in the way they go about things. So they're like, oh yeah, like whatever. Who are you? Well, who are you? Like you know, like that kind of. And I thought he was like phenomenal. I really thought Doctor Strange was really good in that.
My brother, he saw obviously Doctor Strange when it came out a couple of years ago. But he said, man, I really love Doctor Strange after this movie because he was a badass. And I was like, exactly, that's what Strange is. He was going toe-to-toe with Thanos when he had 4 of the stones.
I know.
So that was awesome to see that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and he wasn't even using his own.
No. He even says, you haven't used your greatest weapon. He was just kind of afraid to kind of bring that out because, what could happen. And he was trying to hide it as well.
You also noticed how strong that stone was when they literally destroy a stone, and he's like,
I knew that,
and he brings
it
back, and I was literally like, oh, okay, like they killed him. There's 5 stones left, and I thought that was where it was gonna end, and it was gonna be like, there's 5 stones, you don't know what's gonna happen. Like that's where I thought it was gonna end. And then I see like him like go like this. I'm like,
there's
no
way. Time at all.
I'm like, there's no way he's gonna do this. And I was sitting there. I think I literally like you guys were watching. I was like, like, are you guys seeing what I'm seeing right now? Like,
that one hurts. I honestly, the first time I saw that, I thought what he was gonna do is he was gonna bring it back enough just to make sure the stone was intact, but Vision still was exploded. I didn't think he actually bring it off. I thought he was just gonna like pluck it.
Yeah, but it made it even worse that his body just laid there.
And it went gray after he took it out.
And it didn't disappear when he snapped his fingers, so it's just this dead body laying on the ground.
Oh man, that was sad stuff there. But that whole fight, going back to Doctor Strange on Titan, everything that happened there was great.
Awesome.
I love that stuff. I love showcasing how the Guardians and the Avengers, the other ones, not Thor, met. And then kind of coming to that whole realization. All the jokes there were good. We obviously talk about that forever. But What do you guys think about that final part there on Titan where they had the glove off?
I know.
And Peter messed it up. Understandably, because he was emotional.
Yeah.
But what do you think about that? They had it.
I saw one meme on Twitter. It was called Infinity Wars. No, it wasn't. I almost got spoiled on Twitter because I saw like Infinity War spoilers out of context.
Yes, that was
a bunch
big
of
meme
stupid pictures going around.
Yeah.
But this one I saw, it was a picture of Chris Pratt with the caption, "It's all your fault." And so going into it, I unfortunately knew he was going to do something messed up.
Yeah.
So once he was starting to get egged on, I realized that's when it was going to happen.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, I knew he was going to F it up.
Yeah,
he was emotional. I think Thanos was baiting him a little bit because I think Thanos wanted him to hit him. And yeah, very frustrating as a viewer because they have him beaten, and he ruins it all.
But like, if you put yourself in that moment, right, and like you just lost your girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you feel the same way? I mean, it's raw emotion. You just learned she died.
And it's the guy is standing right in front of you that
hard.
killed her.
It's hard. Like Tony was just like, "Hey, you got to put that. You got to check it."
It's hard, but you wait. You wait 20 seconds,
Yeah,
and
I
once the
know.
gloves off, then you beat the shit out of him.
It's true, so you could fault him for being stupid there, but I just...
But they built him up also to be a very high octane, hot-headed
It had to be
character.
him.
Yeah.
Like, it couldn't... No one else would have
maybe
been, like...
Maybe Batista's Drax.
A little bit, because we see that earlier.
Well, but that already happened. You know what I mean? At that point, there's no one else that's just going to step out of line. You know, that everyone else is, like, literally in place, and he's not doing anything.
Yeah.
So, like, it was his plan, and he wasn't doing anything.
It worked.
Right? So he's sitting there and he's like, oh, like, this was all my idea. Ha, ha, ha. But he's literally standing there doing nothing.
Yeah.
It's
Also,
like, all he had to do was pull the glove with them, and it's off.
Also, Nebula knew. She was the one who realized that.
And she said it.
And she said it.
Yeah.
She should have just kept her mouth shut.
I think it was more... True, but I think she didn't mean it in that way.
She was processing it out loud.
She's processing it herself, but
It's also her sister.
they're asking the questions of, Mantis goes, he mourns, and then Drax is like, what does this monster have to mourn for? And that's why she answers that question.
Yeah.
It was just kind of out there.
Yeah.
And that's why. But
It's a tough situation.
I can't fault him because, not going on a tangent, but after everything Peter Quill has been through, Gamora is like a stable point for him. So, like, to lose that, it's like, that's hard.
Yeah.
And he just learned that she died in that second, and he is the man that killed her, is right there.
Yeah.
So, like, I can't hate him for that. It was cool to kind of see Thanos kind of weakened in some ways, and like they had the glove, so like he was vulnerable in some ways.
Yeah.
But then also he shows you when he pulls a moon out of the fucking sky that you're nobody.
That was
that was a great line by Tony too. You throw another moon at me, I'm gonna lose it.
Yeah, that was incredible.
That was a great use of that scene. That whole last fight sequence was great. And then again, I can't fault Strange for giving up the time stone there.
Yeah, well, because, I mean...
I can't.
He saw the one future.
Is that the one future?
Yeah, it is.
That's it? When he gives the stone?
Because he literally says it's the only way.
Yeah.
And he also says
said
it's
we're in
the end game.
Yeah.
Because,
he knows what he's doing.
You think about it, and it's like, he saw, 14 million different ways,
605,
right? Nice.
I saw it 3 times.
Yeah. And he said that they won it in one way.
Yeah.
Now, there could have been 2 million ways in which they get rid of the stone, and there's still only one way.
Yeah.
But it's like, well, I like those odds,
Yeah, it's true.
It's like, this is how we're going to do it. I'm going to just give it to him.
Yeah.
Save you, Tony, because you're important as hell to this mission here.
Yeah, I think he developed some humanity to him in that moment, too.
Yeah.
Because, like, earlier he says, like, listen, if it comes down to you, even the kid,
Yeah.
I'll let you guys die.
I knew that was going to come back. Like, because, like I said, they always have something coming back like that.
It's just storytelling.
Well, I was just going to say, when he gives that stone up, he knows he's going to die, Doctor Strange. He's basically killing himself because he has to know that the future that he's going into is
I didn't even think of that.
He dies on.
And not only that, I think he knows that obviously he's helping Thanos complete the gauntlet. He knows he's gonna complete it.
He knows he's gonna die, and half of the other world.
See, now here's where I'm different on the movie. There, just in that sequence, it could be the one way. That could have been the one way,
you don't think it is?
or it could have been his humanity just literally he fell for Stark there. In the end of it, when push came to shove, kind of what Loki did with Thor, where he said, "I'll kill away," and then when he sees Thor actually dying, he gives up the stone. It could have been that, and the one way that Strange could have saw them win was the one that Peter Quill messed up. Maybe that was the one way. They had the glove off, so maybe that was the one way they saw it working, and Peter messed that up.
Maybe.
So either way, it's open to interpretation.
Yeah.
Where I just saw it that way. It definitely could be the other way.
It could be anything.
But that was my interpretation.
Or maybe there was only one way in which he was alive that worked.
Yeah.
So he said there was one way.
Exactly.
And there could have been more.
So there's a whole bunch of things you could have done there. And then I guess jumping to the final fight scene on Earth.
Yeah.
What do you think about all that stuff? In Wakanda, having the Outriders, those are the four-armed fucking crazy creatures. They did a pretty good job of them.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
They're a little bit different, obviously, but, you know, it's a movie. And seeing M'Baku back from Black Panther, I love when they do all the chants and stuff. That was getting me pumped up even the first time. So I love all that stuff there. And I thought it was a great final battle. Seeing Cap get the new, shields. Yeah. Him and Black Panther were the two racing out ahead there. And then, when everything gets desperate, Thor, Groot, and Rocket come down.
Yeah, that's what it was.
A lot of great interactions. Cap pointing at his haircut, him saying, "Are you covering my beard?"
Yeah, in the middle of the fight. You can see people fighting.
All that stuff there. Rocket saying, "I'll get that arm." Bucky and things like that. So there was a lot of great things. I am Groot. I am Steve Rogers.
Yeah, that was.
So people were dying in the opening night when I saw it. And all that fight there, and then I guess getting to the final thing when he takes the Mind Stone. You love that scene when he comes out and the music plays Thanos when he's walking to him. What do you think?
Well, I mean, it's the second time I'm watching it, so I know Thanos is coming, but they just build it up so well. Where they're like, "Everyone on me." That's what Cap says because he knows he's seen it all.
Even
Captain
Black
America.
Widow notices like, "What is this?"
Yeah,
like, it's weird.
And they've been, they're the
air
Avengers.
is just different.
Yeah, and they're the Avengers.
Yeah.
They've seen it all. They've versed everyone.
Yeah,
and it's just different when it comes to him. And so they're all like, "What the hell's going on?" And then Thanos comes. And my stomach sinks, and I'm like, I know what happens. I've seen this before. And as he's walking, you hear like the music. Beat of the music was in sync with his walking, and you have the emotional scene with obviously Vision.
Oh, that was with the music, how loud it plays, but it fits so well for that.
Yeah,
that hurts.
And then as Thanos is getting closer, he's just making quick work of the event. I mean, they have no chance.
Everybody.
It's funny because as we know Vision is dying, and as Scarlet Witch. I was going to say Black Widow. Scarlet Witch. I always get those.
It happens.
Is killing Vision. I honestly thought when Captain America was actually holding Thanos which is incredible.
Yeah.
I genuinely thought they're going to pull the ultimate twist, and while we're all preparing for Vision to die and we're seeing Vision's death, this is when they're going to kill Captain America. When the audience is least expecting it.
I did think that.
And for a split second, the first time I watched it, I was like, they're going to kill Captain America right here, but he just punches him.
When he punched him, I thought he caved his face in. I thought that he was going to die right there.
That would have been an insane twist. But then you have. It was just an epic scene.
It was epic.
Darth Vader-esque. I mean, I think of the Darth Vader Rogue One scene.
Yes, very, very much so.
And it's just.
I'm glad that
it would have been really interesting
if Darth Vader was there.
No. Like how you were saying with Captain America, right?
Yeah.
Imagine he takes like his fist, he punches him, right? He knocks him down, and he like stomps him out. He's dead.
Yeah.
He goes over. The same thing happens with the last stone.
Yeah.
He brings back time to right before Captain America dies. Captain America doesn't die, so everyone reacts to his death. Sees him die, and then since he reverses time,
he could have brought it back enough, and Cap's still dead, but he got the stone.
No, but what I'm saying is like they reverse it to a point where like he's still alive, and then he still gets the stone, and it's like Cap doesn't even realize that he just died. It's just, and I kind of thought the same thing. I was like, holy shit, like. Somebody else could just die here.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
And it could have been and then half of them did anyway.
I like that they just used that moment from the trailer of him stopping the glove, and Thanos is looking like, oh wow, I'm surprised you're this strong.
Yeah,
but then it's just like, all right, get out of my way.
Yeah.
So I like that stuff there. It was a great, emotional scene. But then he gets the stones, everything, right? What are you feeling in that moment where he screams? You see kind of the rainbow magic go through him. He's got all six. and then Thor comes in. You kind of forgot about him for
you
the
do.
rest of that
Thor
there.
throws his axe,
and it goes through the power of the
which
stone.
is fucking insane.
And hits him right in the chest. And in that moment, the whole theater got silent the first time I saw that because it was like, oh, fuck. Like, Did he stop him?
Yeah.
And in the back of my mind, I know it's coming, but maybe people who haven't read it, but they referenced it opposite or in the movie, you saw it in the trailer, and he's trying to say something, and he's just like, oh, what is he trying to say? You should have aimed for the head. No! Boom! And he hits it, and it's like, holy crap, Marvel had the balls to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And we assume what that is he went to Soul World, and he goes into the Soul Stone and sees young Gamora, and she asks him if he did it. Yes. You know, what did it cost?
Everything.
And I just like how emotionally he says that. Everything. And then, like, he goes back and he sucks himself out or whatever. And then everyone, how are you feeling? The first time you watch this, everyone disappearing. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking, like, wow. I mean, they literally did it. They killed off
They did.
so many people.
The ways they did it too, man.
Yeah, well, see, that's the thing. I thought the Black Panther one could have been a little more impactful because I think that's probably the most iconic hero that died.
Yeah.
Maybe
Especially
Spider-Man.
look how his movie did this year.
That's exactly what it is, riding the momentum of that
Yeah.
movie. I thought had his sister been there and had he had a little dialogue like Spider-Man did before he died, it would have been just that much more impactful.
Fair
But
point.
you have all these quick ones, and then it leads up to the
Bucky
Spider-Man
one hurts me because he's the first one where he's just
Yeah,
like Steve,
yeah.
and the way and it's Cap's face, and then
Yeah.
he could go and pick up like what is left of Bucky.
That one was sad.
All that stuff hurts.
It's also just like you can't even process it until
because they're all like this.
Yeah, they're all so quick.
The Groot one hurts too.
Groot one was sad.
Because
but that's because you have dialogue. The ones where you have dialogue.
Well,
more.
I mean, the Black Panther, he goes, get up, this isn't a place you want to die.
Yeah,
and then he dies.
General.
That's true.
So, like, and like I was saying to you on the way home, I'm like, he was saying the same thing. He's like, it just didn't have that same feel.
Yeah, it's fair.
And I'm like, well, if you really, like, think about the way, is it Okoye is her name?
Okoye, yeah.
The way you think about how she was. She turned and was like, look, he's not in the Black Panther movie.
Yeah.
He's not my king anymore. My job is to protect the king.
Right.
She turns on everything she believes in to make sure he becomes king again, showing how loyal she is. Like, her loyalty is only second to his sister.
Yeah.
And then she literally watches him disappear in her hands.
It's true. It's definitely a good point.
It has a lot behind it, but it's just the scene itself.
Yeah.
Isn't like, I mean, Spider-Man, I was like,
that one
you
hurts.
have to be kidding
me. The
me.
Groot one hurts too, man, because you have to go back to the first Guardians when you see he died. And Rocket and him have that moment. And then that's why he goes, no, not again. No. Because, like, he's losing his best friend again. So, and even though, he's the teenage Groot and they made all those jokes and blah, 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 you still care about him. Even if he's going through puberty, per se. And that one hurts. And then, yes, obviously, you see every Guardian but Rocket dies. So all that stuff is, steady Quill. Oh, man. And, like, he disappears. Or Drax saying Quill and he's gone. But obviously the one that hits even more. When Spider-Man fades, people pointed out, and my friend John pointed this out, he kind of feels it, obviously because people died. But him saying, I don't feel so good, he has the Spidey sense. So he probably knows something's coming.
Oh, yeah.
So I didn't even think about that the first time.
If you, see his face, he goes from, like, looking normal to, like, pale white.
That was sad, though. And, that's, they make the comment in this movie that's Tony's ward. That is his protege. It's kind of like his son in some ways.
Even Tony trying to, like, comfort him at the end. Like, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine.
Yeah.
When Tony has to know
because Tony, in the end, as well, even if on Earth he probably would have disappeared, he blames himself because he's there.
Yeah.
He gave Peter that suit. He got Peter involved in his life. He made him, the Avengers, honorary thing and things like that. And then to go home and if his aunt's alive, to tell him, like, yeah, Peter's gone. Like, that's a lot to burden on him.
Yeah.
And him to have those flashbacks that I said to kind of Age of Ultron where they said, why don't you do more when he had that mind vision and he saw all the Avengers dead? Well, that nightmare came true.
Yeah.
He saw that, and he's the last one with Nebula left, and, he's just kind of holding himself, and he's still messed up because he almost died.
I thought
he was dead there for a second, but they kept him alive, so his nightmare came true where he's alive and everyone else is dead.
Yeah.
So, oh man, I mean, obviously we could talk about this movie forever, but there is one thing I want to talk about before dislikes.
Okay.
What do we think of Thanos? After everything, all the hype, does anyone have serious thoughts on him? Do you feel for him in any way? Do you get why he's doing anything that he does?
Yeah. I the first thing I said to the person I viewed the movie, I don't want to keep saying my girlfriend, because it sounds like I'm one of those people that are like, yeah, I have a girlfriend. The first thing I said to Sharon is,
this guy.
Right when I left the theater, I'm like, his ideology is not horrible. There are so many people, even in the on Earth, that are struggling with hunger and struggling with all these terrible things.
It's a little different.
Yeah, well,
I didn't even hear what you guys said.
Keep going.
Okay. So starvation, and overpopulation is a real thing.
Yes.
So I understand the ideology behind it, but the means is horrific and unacceptable.
Right.
And that's the problem. The other problem, this is more of a dislike, so I'm not really going to get into it, is the motivation. It doesn't really click for me. I thought he was a great villain, and he would be 10 out of 10, because I understand where he's coming from. I understand what he's saying, but he's just blind to his own, I just think, ideologies being so correct, and that he can't understand that genocide is wrong. And if you can't understand that, then you're.
I think that's actually probably the fairest assessment I've heard. I think that was actually perfect the way you said that.
Thanks.
I think it's more as well leading into that is that he sees this one vision, this one destiny. This is what he has to do. He's willing, as he even points out when he's talking to Gamora, right, in their throne room. He goes, I might be the only one that realizes, or at least the only one who has the will to act on it, right? He just sees himself as this godlike figure that he's convinced that this is what's right. Look what happened to my home planet. I won't let that happen to other places. Look, Gamora, look at your planet. I did that, and now it's a paradise. So he has examples of where this has worked before. But also in the background of that, let's be real, he loves the power.
Yeah.
Okay, and he wants those 6 stones because why not?
Yeah.
I could be the most powerful being ever in the universe.
Ever.
So there is a little bit of ego in there too. And I think that adds complexity to his character. There is some holes. I definitely agree with his logic. But I think it's also clear that, as Gamora points out, as Nebula points out, he's also a madman. He was called a madman in the past.
Well, the Mad Titan.
And he's called the Mad Titan, so that was a reference there that, he might have some logic to this, but you also have to realize that genocide, he's also a nut.
Yeah.
So, he's going to the most extreme to do something.
I think just to add to his ego, too, he probably thinks that when these planets do become paradises, at least in the one case, they all view him, or he feels they all view him as a god, the people that are left, because he was the one who blessed them with this, all the food and all the love and happiness. And so I guess that brings joy to him, and he thinks that's, the end goal.
Even if he doesn't want that recognition, he just wants it as, I'll look on a sunset at a grateful universe. Even if they don't know that he did it. He thinks that they'll be grateful that some entity did this for them.
He wants to play God.
Yeah,
and that's literally what he wants to
that's
do.
exactly what he wanted to do. But I thought Josh Brolin gave a fantastic performance.
Yeah.
Motion capture,
phenomenal.
the special effects, everything with this made him look like a real character, which is completely Josh Brolin motion captured it, but it's a CGI character.
Yeah.
I think they did a fantastic job. The hype, it lived up for me to the hype.
Yeah.
And I think they really nailed a villain, which they do have trouble nailing Marvel villains. So finally, you did great there.
Now, do you think that they really nailed the villain because, 1, he survived the whole movie,
True.
and 2, he actually went through with his evil plan? Because every time you're about 35 seconds away from the evil plan happening and something goes wrong,
Yeah,
something gets stopped.
I think that makes him a better villain.
Yes, and it adds to the fact that it's like, this isn't over, it wasn't like, okay, Thanos is here, oh shit, alright, do this, do that, bang, it's done.
Yeah.
No, it's like, hey, you just lost half the world.
Yeah.
Good luck. Half the universe.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah. And I think it plays more into the 2-parter.
Yeah.
He has to win in there, and I think it's nice for the Avengers, for our heroes to have some consequences.
Yeah.
For the villain to win in some ways. Yes, we did see in some ways Zemo from Civil War, he won because he got them to fight, right? But it was nice now having a more developed character here, where someone that I can kind of get it. I understand he's a psychopath.
Yeah.
I get that. But I also understand why he's so almost like a religious nut in some ways.
Yeah.
He's so convinced of his ideology that I have to do this. So I love that.
You ever hear of Jonestown?
No.
It's a cult where a guy has everybody drink from a cauldron and it's poison and then sacrifice it because the world is overpopulated.
Okay.
Is one of the many reasons.
Yeah.
So that's what clicked in my head. And then I said Hitler before when you said he thought
Genocide.
genocide was a
Which
good idea.
obviously that was a different
Because
connotation.
Different drive,
Yeah, it was
different
more
reasoning.
racial.
But at the same time, like he was like, oh, there's too many people anyway.
Yeah.
So you take them all out. It got to the point where it was like the Aryan race or nothing, even though he wasn't Aryan, but that's a different story.
Yeah.
It's just like that's the kind of thing that was in my head. It was like
I think the point there is that not obviously saying anything good for Hitler, but what you're comparing there is more that it's someone who has the will to do these horrible things because they think it's
thinking
right.
Thinking Endgame this will benefit everybody.
Yeah.
But the actual act you're doing is the absolute worst thing you can be doing.
Yeah.
So that's why I think right there, I know they cut a lot of his backstory apparently. Hopefully we'll see that in deleted scenes, but him using the reality stone just to show what Titan looked like.
Yeah, that was cool.
And then to be like, even Starla pointing out like, what happened at this place?
Yeah.
Like, so his world is extinct.
Yep.
He sees himself. He goes, oh, you're a man. No, I'm a survivor.
Yeah.
So that's how he sees himself. That I will never let this happen to somewhere else again.
Yeah.
So
Now,
I'm fine with that.
I have a kind of a theory on how Thanos is gonna go bye-bye.
All right.
But I think he's gonna have this like, because you know how right now he's like all perched up. And he's like, oh, I can see this great world.
He's just relaxing and watching the sunset.
And how he says to Gamora that like, he gave up everything.
Yeah.
I think something happens to the point where he turns back time all the way to Gamora dying.
Yeah.
So he loses a few stones in the process, gets Gamora back, and then obviously Gamora is still going to be like, no, F you, and they're going to be able to stop him.
I think it definitely is interesting. In the comics, he does appeal to Lady Death. When he realizes that this isn't the right thing, when she doesn't really care, he snaps it back.
I don't know anything about the comics.
Yeah,
so.
but he brings it back, and I think to keep with that continuity, but also just to make sense, he has to be the one to reverse this. Because honestly, who else? The Avengers don't have the power, then we have the Gauntlet. So he has to be the one to reverse this. I think that'll be a tackling thing for the Russo brothers, who obviously filmed the movie already, of showcasing to the audience now, to us, what made him drift from this ideology that he's had almost his whole life.
Yeah.
So
unless they go a completely different route.
Maybe the soul stone.
Yeah, everyone's trapped in there.
That's what I'm saying. But maybe he has like constant communication with Gamora.
Sure.
And sees her as a child, like in this soul
crazy,
world, and it drives him to the point where he's like, I can't do this because this isn't you. This is like an image of you. Like we can make up like all the lost time, all the things that I did to you, and bring it back as far as he wants, to the point where he gets her back, maybe even to way before that, before he even like captures her, to a point where it's like, I don't really know where they would twist it for where he stops it.
But there's definitely a possibility.
But I think that, because like them showing that he can do that, I think that's really the only way.
He's the only way. He's the one controlling. He has all the cards.
And they don't have it. And they lost half the universe, but also half of the people that were fighting against him are gone.
Yeah.
And you still have Thor, but like,
yes, it's true.
You have a Hulk who can't get hulked.
Yes.
And you got, Tony Stark who's almost dead.
Were you guys fine with that? Were you guys fine with not seeing Hulk in the rest of the movie? I didn't. Because I know people didn't like that. So how do you feel about
Hulk?
that?
I didn't have an opinion on it. I didn't mind it.
I think,
and now in the scene where they showed the Avengers running into Wakanda,
that was totally fake.
Hulk was
they
there.
totally faked it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, they totally got you.
Okay, but that was cool.
Wait, what?
In the trailer, everyone's running, including the Hulk in that shot, which obviously we ended up seeing was
Wakanda,
alive because
oh, really?
he never was the Hulk.
But he's in the suit and stuff. I didn't have an idea.
Well, no, I thought that it was kind of nice to see that. I mean, not nice, but like that he still struggles with that. Because like in the Hulk movies, it was always a problem where he couldn't really control when he was Hulk and when he wasn't, which is why they thought he was like an evil.
And I like how it went back the other way too, where like now he never wanted the Hulk to be out, and now when he needs the Hulk, the Hulk won't come out. So they're always like you said, we have a lot to work out. But I think it progressed Bruce's character.
Yeah.
And showcasing him, giving Mark Ruffalo more time, because in Ragnarok, obviously, you guys didn't see, for a lot of the movie, he's just the Hulk. So it's not really him doing anything, not having any parts. And then he proves that he kills one of the Black Order, or children of Thanos, Black Dwarf, without the Hulk. He's able to figure out with his skills, with his smarts and everything else, and I think it progresses that character. So I was fine with it. I know a lot of people didn't like that, but I'm fine with it. And you know you're going to get the Hulk in the next one.
I'm going to be honest, I kept waiting for the point where he finally breaks it.
And it
almost happens where he gets up and you see the whole Hulk's face and he's like, no, and then goes back in. And I was like,
what do you mean, you big green asshole? I thought really when the Outriders were on him, I thought he was going to break out of the suit. But I'm totally fine with that. I know we've bounced around a whole bunch and things like that. We've mentioned some dislikes, but going into dislikes very briefly, I think we've pretty much said it. Yes, I wish there was a little bit more time with the Black Order. I wish they didn't cut some scenes for Thanos' backstory. I would have sat there another 20 minutes if you made me even feel for that character more or understand his ideology more there. And then, there's a little bit, I was a little bit kind of annoyed the way they handled a little bit with Groot and things like that. The adolescent kind of jokes are funny after a while, but then, it really takes him to the hammer part for him to, to do anything. So, there was a little bit there. There's some characters, Mantis and Drax are basically just jokes. That's all they're there for. So there's more progression I would like to see with those characters. I don't have a problem. It's not a dislike of not showcasing a lot of Cap or any of those other people. I'm totally fine with that. But otherwise, I mean, that's nitpicking. There's little things I could do here and there. But overall, I don't really have any major problems with this movie at all.
No,
like I said, we were sitting in the theater when it ended. And you guys were having a full conversation, and I was in between you, and I didn't say a word. I was just sitting there,
that happens the first time.
What the hell just happened? What is going on here? And I'm like, you guys are talking it's no big deal because you've seen it. And I'm literally sitting there, sitting back in my chair,
yeah, it hurts. The first two times I went to see this, without fail, both times, I had someone from behind me said, okay, what the fuck, as soon as the movie ended. And then the second time I saw it, which I guess there was a lot of people seeing for the first time, was, what the fuck, man? So it said, a girl said that. So, that was really funny that it showcases, people were not ready for this at all.
No, when I left the theater, there were, I went to the bathroom and then I saw there were two young kids crying hysterical by the front door, so that was kind of heartbreaking.
Yeah, my friend was crying the other night hysterically.
I was told by a lot of people that they didn't like the ending.
Because it's a somber, not heroes winning ending.
But I thought it was the perfect ending to saying there's more to come. And it doesn't leave you on this cliffhanger of what if they ended it right when Thanos got the sixth thing? Then what? Or he snaps his fingers and the movie ends. How pissed off would you have been if he snapped his fingers in that movie end?
I would have been. Were gonna do that.
I would have been pissed.
Me too.
Then I would have been.
Then you would have had to wait a year to see what happened.
You would have had to wait a year to see half of the people disappear that you're excited to see in the movie. And then you're like, all right, well then they probably would come back at the end of that movie. And it's just I
think this works because now people can sit on it and base it for a year that these people are dead.
And going into the next movie, you don't have an expectation to see any of them. You think, maybe they'll come back, and a lot of them might.
Probably a lot of them will.
But you can't expect any or all of them to come back. So you have to assume, maybe Black Panther's done. He had his one movie. He had his time here. Wakanda's basically destroyed. He's done.
You just have to think.
Maybe Spider-Man, I think he has
I'm sure
coming out.
Both those characters will be back.
But you know what I'm saying.
But you don't know.
You don't know. A guy like Bucky,
they could keep a Bucky dead.
Bucky could be dead. Gamora could be dead.
Could keep her dead.
You could have, it's just Doctor Strange. Could he be dead?
That could be dead. That's my number one concern. And I thought about saying it as a dislike for it, but it's not a dislike for this movie. If they revive every single character or most of them in the next movie, I'll be really
well. I think a couple key characters.
But I think they are going to revive most of them. I think besides Gamora and Loki,
I think they will
revive everyone.
I think they will.
Which is a shame.
We'll see how they handle it.
Yeah, if they revive everyone and kill, still have a really brutal.
Yeah, because there will be a final fight.
Death, with Captain America or something.
Or
I love
Iron
Captain
Man.
America. Yeah. Then I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I just, it's not realistic for everyone to get out unscathed.
I really thought Black Widow was dying in this movie. I don't know what it was, and I don't know why, but I just thought it was going to be one of those things where she steps in and like when Scarlet Witch, when she said she's not alone, right? Yeah. I really thought like she was going to take one for the team, like Black Widow was done.
Yeah.
And
that was a good fight scene.
And then even her, for example, she disappeared. She hasn't really had a movie or anything like that. You know, she could be gone. She's she's literally the most powerful one of all of them.
In some way, I think she was. The way I saw it is that in some way she was kind of happy to be gone just because she just lost everything.
Yeah, she
just
over Vision's body. She actually
almost
was smiling. I
thought like it's almost like this is
relief.
It.
Yeah.
But like she's one of those people who I would love to see like come back and develop and be a very strong.
Yeah, I like what they've done with her.
Technically, she's the one that can destroy the stones,
powerful,
right?
Yeah.
She's the one that can literally destroy an Infinity Stone. You put it on the ground, she can destroy it.
Yeah.
No one else can do that.
Yeah.
At least that we know.
No.
Maybe Thor. I don't know. But it's like if she's not there, it shows that they have to have a completely different strategy.
Yeah.
Which I think is kind of cool. Like they tried taking the thing off his hand, it didn't work. They tried destroying the stone, it worked. He turned back time, killed him, and then she's gone.
Yeah.
So it's like they have to come up with one or two completely different things to make it happen. So I hope that if they come back, I hope they come back like because like Thanos dies and they're able to turn it back, or or like his dying wish is like I want Gamora to be alive, you know, so they bring them back.
Yeah,
like something along those lines. Not like, you know, he turns it back, everyone's alive, and it's just kind of like, all right, we're back to this point in time, and it's over.
So like that's your major dislike if things don't stick.
Yeah. I mean, I don't expect. Well, that's the other thing. Like, sure, the Spider-Man scene was very sad. But I said to people that had saw it, I was like, but I'm watching it and I'm like, well, this isn't real.
Yeah.
He's gonna get revived in the next movie. Yeah. So like it's sad in the moment. I'm not saying it's not, but at the same time, I think that took a little impactfulness away from me, knowing that this isn't real. The one scene where my heart dropped was when Tony Stark got stabbed.
Which for the record, let's say that's a surprise because I can put a clip together of all the videos you shit talk Tony Stark.
I know you could. I even said to the people that I went with, I was like, if he gets killed in the middle of the movie, I'm giving a standing ovation. I joke around a lot, but I didn't expect it. He gets stabbed, and I was like, my jaw was dropped.
Respect, Stark.
Something like that.
Yeah.
What? You have my respect, Stark.
Yeah.
I thought of Piper immediately.
And I don't know. So the people that disintegrated and disappeared like that, they're all going to get revived.
Yeah.
I know.
But there will be some kind of death.
I hope. Whenever time travel is a factor.
Even if people come back, you're going to have another battle for this movie. This is the end of the whole years that they've been doing it. Someone's got to permanently die.
But now here's my issue. They already brought back a character from death in this movie in Vision. So now let's say Doctor Strange gets his time stone back. Can't he just, if Captain America dies in the next fight, can't he just reverse time?
He could change it, but they could do that one thing of like, if we bring him back, I can't control it to the point where, like, if I bring him back, then Thanos comes back.
Hopefully.
They'll probably do something like that.
Or they just destroy all the stones.
Yeah,
that's how it ends.
Also true as well.
So we'll see. It's not a dislike for this movie. I'm just very concerned.
I think there's just very few dislikes that we have overall, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think
I'm good. I'm good.
How do we feel, though, finally, so not a dislike,
I'm good.
Your after credit scene where I freaked out the first time I saw it like a schoolgirl. Captain Marvel is coming, guys. We get a little bit of shot there before Nick Fury and Agent Hill go off. Nick Fury gives the mother, and so that was awesome as well. But seeing it from their perspective and seeing like how everyone's disappearing adds kind of to the horror element.
Yeah, absolutely.
It shows that this is with the regular people, not just the heroes. And then I was saying that had to be the after credit scene. And then he goes red alert, and when sending him like please, and it came up and I freaked out. I don't know. You guys are probably not as familiar with Carol Danvers.
No, but I knew who the symbol was.
So there's obviously theories and blah, blah, blah we could talk about, but we won't. But I cannot wait for next March. We will definitely be here for that review.
Yeah.
We'll be going opening night, and I'm so excited. And we'll also have to assume that in the universe, she wasn't one of the people that faded away.
Yeah.
So hopefully she got the message.
Yeah, she's fine.
So that was great. And that they've been saying for a while that Samuel L. Jackson is not in these movies and blah, blah, blah. all right, at least he got that little shot there to kind of tie, because he's the one that created the Avengers.
Yeah.
So to get that little bit tie-in. No Ant-Man and Hawkeye also in this movie.
No.
Don't have necessarily a problem with that because it makes sense with the families. Plus with Ant-Man, we're going to see him in 2 months.
Yeah.
So,
no complaints.
yeah, so I think there's a million things we could still talk about, but I think it's late enough. I think that kind of covers it here. If we want to jump into ratings,
it is late.
Yeah, for me, I don't think I can give a 10 out of 10 for a movie, but I'm going to go 9.9. The nitpicks for me are just not enough to say that this didn't live up to the hype for me. I think now I've seen it 3 times, so I think the rewatch value still is fantastic for me. The orchestra is amazing. There's so many quotable things, whether they're seriously messed up or funny, and I still laugh at some of those jokes and things like that, where, not to get into a debate, when I watch something like The Last Jedi for the 3rd time in theaters, it didn't have the same impact for me. So this holds up, and that's why I got to give it that score.
Yeah. Oh, mate. Yeah, I'm going to go, I never go 10 out of 10.
It's hard, man.
9.9 is very high.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 9.5. I thought it was incredible. I mean, that's pretty much it. I just thought it was a great movie.
It's a masterpiece. You gotta go see it.
Yeah.
How you feeling?
I would like to go watch it again to just, really get a good... But, I mean, going into it, I knew it was going to be a shit show. And I honestly had no idea what to expect. Like, I knew shit was about to go down. I knew people were going to die, depending on who you are. I mean, I would easily give it a 9.75. Like, it was phenomenal. Like I said, I sat there like this.
Another decimal.
Just look at 9.75, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Like the
7,
DJ did the pie. Yeah. But yes, that works for you.
Yeah, no, because like honestly, there was just.
Did it live up to the hype?
Yes, I couldn't. I couldn't sit there while I was watching it and complain about anything.
Yeah.
Every time I was looking at you, I was like, oh shit, they did that, or like I turned to Dylan and I'm like, for real.
The action was non-stop.
In the moments, even when it wasn't action, were all amazing.
Yeah, they're all really good.
It was either tense, a little comic relief, and action.
Yeah. And trust me, if you go home and you listen to that orchestra soundtrack that I've been doing, when you're listening to it, you can recall the moments in the movie, and it hits even more.
Yeah.
So guys, yes, there's a million things we can talk about with this movie. We've gone long enough. Please let us know what you think of this movie in the comments below. Understand as well, in the comments, we're going full spoilers in the comments. So don't think you can go down there and you guys can fully spoil it down there. So be aware of that.
Yeah.
Let us know your likes, your dislikes, what you think is coming from part 4, what you think the title's going to be, because the directors have said they will not say the title because apparently it's a spoiler. We're not going to get that for a while. So what could that be? What do you anticipate for all these characters? Is everyone going to come back? Will there be permanent deaths? What do you think of Thanos? Did he live up to the hype here? 10 years now of the MCU. And put your favorite moments, put your favorite quotes down below. And any other thoughts, predictions, theories have. Please talk to us down below. Like the subscribe channel, share with your friends if you be so kind. And until next movie review, guys, which I promise will be a lot sooner than this last one.
Absolutely.
It won't be the next Avengers movie.
It won't be. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The boys are back in town.
We're back,
Beautiful.
bro. We made it.